Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is a hard cataract with mid-dilated pupil. Let us observe this surgery. This is the main incision with a 2.8 mm steel keratome at mid-limbus. This is a side port on the right side of the main incision, and this is another side port on the left side of the main incision. These side ports are about 3 clock hours away from the main incision. And now the anterior capsule of this cataract is stained with trypan blue dye underneath an air bubble. The dye is applied over all parts of the anterior capsule. This is a bit of adrenaline. I want to get a bit larger pupil if possible. Now the dye is washed out and the pupil is almost of the same size. The antechamber is filled up with 2% SPMC, and now capsulorhexis is to be done. In this case, I asked for the needle 26 gauge bend needle cystitome because if I use Utrita forceps, I may touch the iris as I go in. With needle, I can remain away from the iris and I can get a rhexis of adequate size. So I have got a rhexis of about 5.5 mm, and this is adequate for this cataract. In hard cataracts, we should aim at a large rhexis. If we can achieve a rhexis of 5.5 mm or more, nucleus management becomes easier. Now hydrodissection is being done. Small amounts of BSCs is being passed at multiple areas and over the anterior capsule, over the anterior surface of the exposed nucleus. The nucleus didn't move much, so I'm going to rotate this nucleus bimanually using 2 hooks, and it rotates nicely. Inject some more visco, and now is the time to introduce the Phaco handpiece, the Phaco needle in the anterior chamber. The Phaco needle goes bevel down, aspirates some cortical lens matter, and now I'm going to employ my technique which I call Submarine Chop for this hard cataract. No trench, just go into the substance of the nucleus, move through the nucleus, reach near the opposite equator and chop, and it divides into 2 halves. This is one heminucleus, it is divided in the same way. This is the other heminucleus, and it is divided into 2 large fragments. So we have got 4 free fragments. Each nuclear fragment is emulsified and removed. The ultrasonic energy used in this case is 80%. As you can see, the nucleus is brown and hard nucleus sclerosis is about grade 5. But with this technique, with this submarine chop technique, we can divide the nucleus at on go without making any trench. This is the last piece. Vacuum used is 400 and flow rate is 40, and this is the last bit of nucleus. It is removed. Few pieces of nucleus at the side port, it is removed. And now cortical cleanup is to be done. Such cases with mid-dilated people, sometimes the pupil become small and we may have to use pupil expansion devices or iris hooks. But in this case, the pupil remained same and I could manage the case. Go through the left side port and remove the cortex from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So cortical cleanup is done nicely, and now the capsular bag and the anterior chamber is inflated, is filled up with 2% HPMC, and in this case I'm going to use Hoya single piece monofocal intraocular lens. This is a hydrophobic lens. It goes easily through 2.8 millimeter wound into the anterior chamber, and we can deliver the lens very easily inside the capsular bag. Yes, it is done. So we are towards the end of the surgery. We just have to clean the cortex, clean the visco, and then conclude the case. But this part of the surgery must not be neglected. We must remove the visco very thoroughly. I am irrigating through the aspirating port, as well as there is usual irrigation. So this is irrigation from two ports. Both the capsular bag and the anterior chamber is irrigated, and the visco gets diluted and it comes out through the main wound. Now I use the bimanual irrigation aspiration cannulas. This is the irrigation cannula. Irrigating the anterior chamber. Now I use irrigation and aspiration together, and all the visco gets removed. And now this is moxifloxacin, and then the side ports are closed. hydrating corneal stroma on either side of these stab incisions. After closing these side ports, a final lavage with BSS is done. The anterior chamber is formed very nicely, integrity of all the wounds are checked, and the case is concluded. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will help you in developing your surgical skills. Be a great surgeon and serve your patients with love, respect, compassion, and great surgical competence.